If you've been grinding, posting content every day, building funnels, running ads, trying every strategy under the sun, but still not seeing the results you know you're capable of, this episode is going to change your life. Because what I'm about to share with you are the 4 secrets that took me from an addict with 2 homes in foreclosure to building a $40 million business. And it's the exact same framework I've used to help thousands of entrepreneurs go from 0 to 7 figures. And here's what nobody tells you. Most entrepreneurs fail, not from lack of effort, but from applying the right strategy at the wrong time. And while everyone else is fighting for attention in an oversaturated online world, I'm gonna show you the 4 secrets that let you step completely outside that competition and build a highly successful business without the hustle, without the grind, while spending 90% of your time on what you love. These aren't just strategies, they're the foundational truths that separate the 1% who succeed from the 99% who struggle. And once you understand them, everything else becomes simple. Look, I get it. You've probably been told to build a funnel, post content every day, grow your email list, run Facebook ads, maybe launch a podcast or write a book. And I'm not saying these things don't work. They can. But here's the problem. Most entrepreneurs are pursuing the wrong strategy for the stage of growth that they're currently in. Now, every expert and guru out there is selling you their strategy. And they'll tell you that it's going to work for everybody. But the truth is that not everybody should be launching a podcast or posting content online. And for sure, not everyone is one funnel away. But everyone seems to have the answer, right? But what they're not telling you is this. Online is the easiest game to get into, but it's the hardest game to win. Why? Because you're not just competing for clients anymore. You're competing for attention in an increasingly noisy, distracted, and oversaturated market. And while the internet removed barriers to entry for you, guess what? They removed them for everyone else too. So instead of being the only one in your space, you're literally one of hundreds of thousands. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, an e-commerce provider, a service provider, all saying some version of the same thing. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Google's 7-11-4 rule. They did a study. They discovered something that was really shocking. In order for someone to complete a purchase with you online, that person has to have an average of 7 hours of engagement, 11 touch points across 4 separate digital platforms. Now think about that for a moment. The amount of effort that's required to achieve that. It is insane. But you know what I discovered? I have a 1-1-1 rule. 1 conversation, 1 platform, 1 hour. Which one sounds better to you? Now, when I first got started, I tried all the things. My wife and I decided we wanted to build a next level transformational mindset coaching company for entrepreneurs. So we took all the courses we learned from the experts. They told us that we needed to learn Facebook ads and create a 4-part video series or a webinar and then sell a digital course. We had to learn how to write emails and send emails in a sophisticated marketing automation sequence. And you know what? I got to give my wife and I some credit. We actually did all the things. Carol went and she got certified in a marketing automation software. I learned how to run Facebook ads. I started studying how to write copy. We built the whole funnel. We ran ads. We spent most of our savings building an email list of 6,000 potential prospects. And of course, I'll never forget that it was that Friday when we opened up the cart to sell our digital course that we were told would sell, and we would just be sitting back on the beach in Bora Bora or whatever tropical island we were living in, just counting the zeros and ones. And by the end of that Sunday, 6,000 people went through the sequence and not a single person bought. And it was heartbreaking. It was soul crushing. I remember sitting with my wife, she was my girlfriend at that time, at a sushi restaurant saying, God, how could it be so hard to just help people? Like we did all the things they told us to do and it didn't work. And here's what the experts won't tell you about winning that online game. You want to build a funnel? You either need to learn Facebook ads like I did, or you got to pay a consultant $7,500 a month plus 10% of whatever you spend on advertising. And then you need to spend around $300 a day for about 30 days. That's 10 grand just to test and figure out what's not working. And then you either need a copywriter or you need to spend countless hours writing your own copy and then spend months tweaking that funnel while you're not making any money, not actually helping anyone, and certainly not doing what you love. And so this brings us to the first secret. And this is the one that changed everything for me. The real reason you're not seeing results isn't your strategy, It's how and where you're communicating your value. So let me tell you exactly what I mean. I had spent over a year trying to figure out the online game. I'd invested literally hundreds of thousands of dollars learning from gurus and experts trying to make money with funnels and Facebook ads and social media marketing, and nothing was working. And then a friend calls me up and he says, hey, I'm a part of this business networking group. I love your work on mindset. He was a guy I met out in the real world at another event that I was attending. We became friends. I started sharing with him what I was up to. He said, come up to Atlanta and present to my business networking group about how entrepreneurs need mindset to grow their business. And so I fly up to Atlanta. I speak for 60 minutes. It was the first talk I'd ever given. I was super nervous, literally never given a presentation before. But at the end, I said, hey, listen, if you're interested in seeing how I might be able to help you with this mindset stuff that I just trained you on, let's schedule a short call and we can explore working together. So the 15 people in that room, 5 wanted to have a call with me, 3 enrolled as clients. And at that time, I was charging $1,500 a month for coaching on a 6-month contract. So that's $9,000 each. Get this, I made $27,000 from one 60-minute talk. I think about this. For over a year, I tried everything online, but after 1 hour in front of 15 people face-to-face, I closed almost $30,000 in new business. It was literally some of the easiest money I'd ever made, and I had a ton of fun doing it. And here's what I realized in that moment. Online, you're one of thousands. Offline, you're the expert in the room. When people are scrolling past you online, they're going 100 miles an hour. They're half listening while checking Facebook, picking up the kids, watching Instagram reels. They're distracted. But when you're standing right in front of them, sharing real stories, teaching principles, connecting from the heart, you're not just another expert, you are the expert. Even though nobody knew who I was, even though that was my first talk, I was the authority in the room. And that's when I started to see the massive opportunity that offline is actually the new and improved online. Why? Because offline, there's way less competition. People pay way more attention to you in person than they do online. You already know the person in front of you is your ideal client. That's why they're there. You get to provide massive value while doing what you love, and you're positioned as the authority, so they're already preconditioned to paying you high prices to work with you. I know you're probably saying to yourself, but Dave, this is a podcast or I'm watching on YouTube. Yes, because I've built a $40 million coaching company. I have a team that can manage it for me. I've had to get really, really good in order to be able to succeed in the online game. You know where I got good and where I generated the cash to hire those people? Offline. And here's what most people don't realize. There are literally thousands of presentation opportunities right in front of you every single day. From local meetups that are based on different interests people have, to universities who are running different programs, networking groups, churches, veterans groups, women's groups, men's groups. You can go into corporations and do lunch and learns. You can partner with yoga studios, chiropractic offices, co-working spaces. Wherever your ideal client is, people are always looking for educational marketing opportunities to give to their audience. When I realized that, I was able to make $27,000 in an hour giving a presentation. I thought, well, let me see if this is replicable, or is this just like a one-off thing? So as I mentioned, Carol was certified in a marketing automation software. And so we needed to make cash at that point in time. We invested so much in trying to win the online game and chasing all these other magic pill strategies. I told her what happened, and she said, well, let me call up the local university and see if there's an opportunity for me to present. So she called up the local university. They said, yeah, we've got an entrepreneurship program. And she said, well, I'd love to come in and teach on marketing automation. It's really important for small and medium-sized businesses. Most people don't know about it. And they said, sure, we'd love to have you come in and speak. She said, well, how long is the wait list? They said, well, what wait list? Could you come in on Friday? And she said, well, aren't there a lot of people that want to speak? They said, well, we'd love to have speakers come in, but we rarely get approached by anybody. She comes in, there's a small group, about 15 to 20 people. She's got a $2,500 consulting package that she put together at the end of her talk. She enrolls 3 people into her consulting package, $7,500. On Monday, the university calls and says, hey, we got such great reviews about your talk. We've got another group in our MBA program. Would you come in and present to them? Carol said, yeah, I'd love to. I said, babe, listen, before you go, let's increase the prices to $3,500. See what happens. She goes and speaks to another small group, about 15 to 25 entrepreneurs, enrolls another 3 people for $3,500 a pop. It's more than 10 grand. And then a week later, she approaches the Chamber of Commerce, does the same thing. All in all, she makes over $34,000 in about 2 weeks, delivering presentations, teaching and training, doing what she loves. Literally while everyone else is stressing about posting more content and gaming the algorithm and putting more money into ads, you could be walking into a room, delivering your message to 15 pre-qualified prospects and walking out with $27,000 in revenue, just like I did. And think about this. How many Instagram posts would it take you right now to bring in $27,000? How many leads would you need to convert through a funnel? And how complicated would that be to build? How many conversations would you need to have? How much would you have to spend on ads, and how long would all of that take? Versus you show up in front of a group of people, talk about what you love for an hour, and you leave with multiple new high-paying clients. Hey, it's David. If you've been loving what you've learned so far and you're ready to actually implement these strategies to start, grow, or scale your business and do it without ads, without burnout, hustle or grind or overwhelm, here is the next step. We've opened up some spots on my team's calendar. I want you to click the link in the show notes or just go to davidbusinessplan.com. There you're going to be able to schedule a complimentary strategy session with my team. They're going to walk you through the exact process that I use to grow my business from zero to over $40 million in revenue. And on that call, they're going to map out how you can apply this framework to generate high-paying clients in your business fast. Now, we've got a very limited number of spots available on the calendar. So if you're serious, jump on it now, click on that link, complete the brief application survey, and get your call scheduled. And now, let's get back to your regularly scheduled episode. So this brings us to secret number 2. With just one simple, scalable client acquisition system, you can consistently enroll $5,000 to $50,000 clients in a single afternoon without any funnels, ads, social media, or tech. Now that system is presentations. The terrain is offline. The system is presentations. And again, if you've been a part of my community, you're like, but Dave, you run webinars, you run online challenges. Yes, I do that now. This is all dependent on where you are in your stage of growth. But the system itself is presentations, whether it's offline or online. One presentation that you can deliver offline or online wherever your ideal clients are already gathering. One presentation that delivers massive value to your audience. One presentation that gives you an opportunity to share your story and connect with people. This is the number one thing that I hear from people in our community and who follow this show is like, man, I love your story. I relate to you so much. But if you really look at what this show is, every episode is a presentation that helps you shift your beliefs and a presentation that helps you move forward in some area of your life. And when you're able to do that, it naturally creates demand for your services. Now, when you're doing this offline and giving presentations, there's no tech, there's no ad budget, there's no social media posting, there's no 37-step funnels, no chasing, no convincing. That's why I believe that most entrepreneurs should first dominate the offline game before moving online. Because all you need is one presentation that does all of your marketing and sales for you in 45 to 90 minutes. And by the way, it works online and offline because now all of your focus and energy is on just one strategy, presentations. You're not constantly changing ads or tweaking campaigns. You don't have to worry about algorithms changing. There is no algorithm in the offline world. There's no increase in competition or ad spend over there called in the real world. It's efficient with your time. It's highly predictable. It's fun, and it leverages what you're good at, which is teaching. And here's the really powerful part. You only have to build a presentation once. So I have one presentation. That same presentation made me over 1 million in less than 2 years in my first 2 years of business. That same presentation has made me $12 million over the last 6 years. One presentation. And it's not just me. I had this client, Marianne. Marianne was a life coach. Her husband got sick. She had to step away from life coaching to work with him, but she was very early stage. And she was going to go build a funnel. She saw one of my presentations. We ended up having a conversation with her. She enrolled in one of my programs. And over the course of a couple of months, we helped her dial in her business foundations, her ideal client, her messaging, her offer. We taught her some simple enrollment skills, and we built a presentation and showed her how to go out and win presentation opportunities. So she goes to an event. She speaks for 15 minutes. And within that first day, she enrolls 4 clients at $3,500. $14,000 in new client revenue the first day. I remember this was back in the day where my clients had my phone number and she text messaged me. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just enrolled 4 clients. What if I can't serve all these people? And I was like, well, look, slow your roll. You're going to have plenty of time because we've eliminated most of what you were doing in terms of sales and marketing and you're just focused on this. Why don't you increase your prices to $5,500? She did. She enrolled 2 more clients in that same weekend. Almost $20,000 in revenue. And then she went out and gave the presentation 4 more times over the next 2 months, generated over $90,000 in revenue. But she was super early on, very new, had never given a presentation. But the strategy worked because she was doing what she was passionate about and she had a simple structure to implement it. Now, here's something interesting that I realized. If you look at what all the gurus are selling you in all of those ads that come through your newsfeed versus how they're selling it to you, you'll notice something. They're all selling different things. How to grow your business with funnels, content marketing, summits, courses, podcasts, using AI. But if you pay attention to how they're selling it to you, they're all using the same thing. They're using presentations. Those ads are mini presentations. That webinar or sales page they drive you to is a presentation. Everything literally is a presentation. When I speak to small groups or big groups, right, and I speak from stages, that's a presentation. When I do an episode like this, it's really a 30-minute, 20-minute presentation. When I run a 5-day online challenge, it's 5 days of presentations. When I wrote my book, it was a 240-page presentation. I run my annual event once a year, the Powerful Living Experience. I'm giving presentations for 3 days straight. And you know what those presentations at my last event converted into? Almost $4 million in revenue. Every single marketing strategy I have is a presentation. And again, whether it's online or offline or big groups or small groups, to your own community or network or someone else's, literally presentations are the simplest, smartest, and fastest way to grow your business. Now, this brings us to secret number 3. And this is where most entrepreneurs are shooting themselves in the foot. How to leverage AI the right way. Look, right now I'm using AI for pretty much everything I do every single day. From workshopping business ideas to figuring out messaging to helping me with my health to figuring out what type of weeds are in my lawn and developing a lawn protocol that's good for pets and good for kids to get rid of the weeds. I use it for everything. What used to take hours of brainstorming and tweaking now takes minutes. But here's what I see most entrepreneurs doing wrong with AI. They're using it to create content that no one's seeing instead of revenue. They're making pretty Instagram carousels instead of money. They're doing endless niching and messaging experiments with ChatGPT. But if you don't understand marketing yourself, you can't really evaluate what AI gives you and whether it's good or not. It's what I call the slot machine phenomenon. So people are logging into ChatGPT, pulling the lever like a slot machine. ChatGPT gives you a response, but do you know what to do with the response? Or do you just pull the lever again and again without making any real progress? Come on, raise your hand if that's you. I've done it too. But way too many entrepreneurs are just using it to procrastinate and stay in an endless cycle of ideation. It's like digital marijuana. You take a hit of ChatGPT, you have a bunch of ideas, but you do nothing, right? And here's the bigger problem. A lot of entrepreneurs are actually building a relationship with ChatGPT rather than building relationships with real people in the real world. They're using AI to write cold outreach emails to strangers instead of doing what actually works. Like, you know how I generated my first $1 million? All of them came from warm relationships. Every single client. Getting out there, meeting people, building relationships. Those people introduced me to other people. Through that, I was offered speaking opportunities. Through that, over time, I established myself as an authority, even when nobody knew who I was. So most entrepreneurs are using AI online, avoiding the real world, shouting into a void of people who have never heard of them and who have no attention to give. But again, offline is so much easier. Conversations are easy, attention is abundant, costs are low. I know that we were all socially distanced during COVID, but like, it's over, baby. And if you really want to grow a high impact business, you got to get out there in the real world with a strategy that works, using AI as a tool. So you use AI to nail your business foundations, to nail your ideal client, your messaging, your offer, your enrollment scripts. It can help with that. Use AI to create the high converting presentation that I'm talking about based on a proven structure. Use AI to create your outreach strategy, to find speaking opportunities, to build your speaker kit, to create an amazing bio, maybe even craft some outreach emails that compel people to want you to come speak to their audience. But it's a tool, it's not the strategy itself. And my team spent 2 years training our AI. We've got over 1,000 hours of my own curriculum. We wove in some of Russell Brunson's teachings, Alex Hormozi's teachings, frameworks from dozens of other experts, all road tested and proven. So when we need new messaging or want to create a new presentation like this one or this episode, it condenses hundreds of hours into a day's worth of work. So this episode is a presentation. And in the past, it would have taken me days to ideate it, outline it, get comfortable with it, maybe even do a dry run and practice it so I could deliver it powerfully to you. Today, it takes minutes. So this brings us to the fourth and final secret. And this might be the most important one. It's about alignment with your mindset. and making sure you eliminate the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from the next level you want in your business. Because your beliefs and who you're being is creating your reality. So every single thought you have, every belief you hold is actually creating the dynamics of the experiences of your life, whether it's in your health or your relationships, your bank account, or your business. And all of us have beliefs that are limiting. One of the reasons why I love entrepreneurship is because it creates such a mirror for who you are and what you need to heal. Entrepreneurship is a spiritual game. It's going to bring up all your limiting beliefs. It's going to bring up all your resistance, your self-doubt, your frustrations, your overwhelm. Maybe you believe money's hard to make. Maybe you believe there's not enough time. Maybe you believe people won't care about your message. I think it was Henry Ford who said the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are right. Both Buddha and Gandhi said the same thing. Basically, a man is but a product of his thoughts, what he thinks he becomes. So if you hold these limiting beliefs, you're going to materialize that into your experience in your business, and it's going to be reflected back to you. The measure of your business right now is the measure of your mindset. You're getting exactly what you deserve based on what it is that you think. And so these limiting beliefs are also going to show up in the way we compare ourselves to others, when we hang out in indecision, or we procrastinate or self-sabotage, or feeling like we're not worthy, right? What we would call imposter syndrome. And I get it. Like, look, at every stage of my growth, I've dealt with fear and feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like I wasn't ready for the next level. But here's what I've learned. You can develop a mindset that allows you to experience the natural ups and downs and challenges of your business without moving into stress and anxiety and suffering. Your brain is a goal-achieving machine. And the problem is that most business strategies don't take into consideration this root cause concept, which is you're creating your own reality in your business down to the very finest detail. So you can go learn course creation, or you can hire a messaging agency, or you can join a program to learn how to do masterminds. And when it doesn't work, you get frustrated and you start to wonder if maybe this isn't right for you. But I'm telling you, it's not that it's not right for you. The vision you have is real. It is your dream. It is waiting for you. It's just understanding that there's a structure for building your dream. Because business challenges are never really about strategy. They're reflections of belief systems that are misaligned with what's really true. And we teach all kinds of frameworks. There's so many episodes on this channel to support you in actually changing your brain and changing the way that you think. I wrote a whole book about it called A Changed Mind. And it makes sense, right? Because when you align yourself with the outcomes that you desire, everything else becomes easier. Your brain is a goal-achieving machine. So here's where we're at. While everyone else is fighting for attention online, you now know you can quietly walk into a room, own your expertise, tell your story, and walk out with clients. The question isn't whether presentation should be part of your business. The real question is, how much money, opportunity, and impact are you leaving on the table by not having one? Because the truth is, your clients are already out there. They're already gathering in rooms, both offline and virtual. They're looking for someone like you. But if it's not you showing up in front of them, they're going to choose to work with someone else. Not because that person's better, not because they have more experience, but because they know how to talk about what they do in a way that makes people listen. So you have a choice right now. You can leave this episode thinking, great, I should figure out a presentation and start doing more speaking. But let's be honest, how long has that already been on your mind and become part of the maybe I'll get around to it later list, right? Or maybe you're not quite sure where to start. You can decide right now that it's time to stop overcomplicating the growth of your business. You can commit to implementing these 4 secrets: communicating your value in the right arena, through the right vehicle, with the right tools, while operating from the right mindset. So if that is you, we're actually doing something really cool. My team has opened up some spots on their calendars to have a few conversations with entrepreneurs just like you who might be ready to get to the next level. These calls are free. On the call, we're going to understand where you are right now, where you want to go, and talk about how you can close the gap. Now, this is for anyone who is committed to starting, or you're already in business, you're looking to grow or scale your business right now. Not just some idea in the future, but you're like, Dave, I'm in the entrepreneurial game and I want some support. On the call, we're going to build out a game plan for you. And if we think we can help you, then we'll talk about what that looks like. It's no hard sell, just an opportunity to help you get more clarity and get the help that you're going to need in order to break through to the next level. So if that's you, we put a link in the show notes. You can click on that, or you can go to davidbusinessplan.com. We're going to ask you to complete a very short questionnaire. It just helps us understand a little bit more about you before we get on a call. And then you'll go to a calendar page where you can find a time that works for you and schedule the call. Because when you get these 4 secrets working together, literally everything changes. Your business becomes a reflection of who you really are. You're no longer hustling and grinding. You're leading and serving and can consistently grow and scale. And that's when the magic happens. So the vision you have for your business and your life, it's not just a dream. I believe it's your assignment. And these 4 secrets are how you fulfill it. Again, if you want some support or at least to talk to an expert that can identify what you're missing and what you need to close the gap, click on the link in the show notes or go to davidbusinessplan.com. And I really hope you love this episode. This is a snapshot of everything that I've learned in business over the last decade. If you love this episode, do me a favor. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you're following along on YouTube. Leave me a rating and review on the audio platforms. And most importantly, if you love this episode, share it with somebody else who needs to hear it. Hey, I hope to see you on one of these calls. It's a limited time opportunity. Either way, I love you very much, and I will see you in the next episode.